Hello, it's The Shaun Show. Welcome back. Episode 33 of The Shaun Show. It's the greatest show. Welcome back. As we do on a Sunday from now on, we do our NFL picks and our NFL bets. So, if you are interested in the picks, just stick around. And if you're interested in the bets, skip forward. You can see my graphics, you can see exactly what I'm betting on, you can hear my thoughts, etc. We're going to talk about the games and the picks though before that. So let's get to what we do. Let's get to the agenda. Look, we don't have much on the slate today. I am going to be talking about every game, so we're going to be doing picks for every game. Show plug and updates, let's get to that. So this is the Shaun Show. As you can see, this has been changed only to Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. We are no longer doing a wrap-up of Thursday night football because we're running to the end of the season, and unless there's playoff games on Thursday night, we're not going to bother. So, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, if you are in the US, take that back one day. Sunday, Monday, Monday. What? Sunday, Monday, Saturday. What? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Sunday, Monday, Saturday. That's right. So on the first show of the week, we go over Sunday football. On the next day of the week, the Tuesday, if you're in the Australia, and Monday, if you're in the US, we go over Monday night football. And then Sunday, which is today, we do our picks for Sunday football and Monday night as well. Okay, so Jesus Christ, let's get into it. We're looking at bringing this show to a couple more different platforms. I'm thinking of doing up some videos, just changing the whole thing up so that we can get some attention to the show. But let's get rid of this. Let's whip up the agenda. We're going to our NFL Week 15 picks. So let's get to that. Boom. All right. Let me bring this up myself. My budgie is just going off. Alright, so we do have a full slate. There are no more teams on bye until the first round of the playoffs. So we've got a full slate to go through. First up, oh my god, we're going to talk about the Cowboys and the Panthers. Both of these teams are essentially eliminated. It's going to be a chance of rain. It is going to be very, very cold. This game means nothing. I don't care, and you probably shouldn't either. But I will take the Panthers here. Dallas is full of woes. Panthers are finding out that they can be a competitive team. The only thing that worries me is that Cowboys defense. They are a strong defense. Next up, we've got Chiefs versus Browns. Chiefs are favored by 4.5 points. It is going to rain. There is going to be 15-mile-an-hour winds, and it's going to be very fucking cold. Actually do like the Browns here. I think this is a bit of a trap game. I don't know why. Jameis Winston is exciting to watch, and I think he'll adapt to the weather. He did when they were playing in the snow. It's the first time he played in snow. I'm picking the Browns. Let's do it. These picks don't really matter. They're not bets. I'm picking the Browns to win. This game just feels super sus to me. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes under the 42.5 points due to weather, but I will not be surprised if it hits the over simply due to Jameis Winston being Jameis Winston. But that's who I'm going with for that game. Next up, we have Dolphins-Texans. Texans favored by 2.5 points. This is a dome game, so weather doesn't matter. Dolphins do need to win out, and they are trending upwards. They're not at 8 losses. They're still at the 7 there, so they've got a chance to make it into the playoffs. It is a slim chance, but they do need to win this game. Houston has had 2 tough divisional games, so if you look at their scores for the last 2 games, tight games against arguably bad teams, Titans and the Jags, but they are divisional games, so they're just going to be tight no matter what. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Texans here myself. I'm going with Texans. I think they can win it out at home with that home field advantage. Next up, let's go to another absolute shit show. It is the Jets versus the Jags. There's a good chance of rain in this one. There is 14-mile-an-hour winds. The Jets are favored by 3.5 points. Again, I don't give a shit about this game. You shouldn't give a shit about this game. I've got zero faith in Mac Jones, especially versus a good defense. And Jets has a good defense, at least. So I'm going with the Jets. Boom. Next up, we have Commanders at Saints. Commanders are favored by 7.5 points. Commanders still in it. You got a chance to take a wild card spot. I believe they're in a wild card spot right now. And the Saints, if they don't win out here, they're done. They're pretty donezo. Yeah. What do we got to say about this game? It's a dome game. Weather doesn't mean anything. Hayner is starting this week because Derek Carr is injured. That's not good. You compound that with still no Bub Means. Bruh. Saints are definitely going to lose when you don't have Bub Means on the field. And that is that. I'm taking the Commanders here. It's just a smart thing to do. Next up, we have Ravens at Giants. Giants are eliminated. They can play the upset-setty here a little bit. I don't think it's going to happen, though. It's going to be a slight chance of rain, and it's also going to be a very, very cold day. Last time, Giants had to verse a top back, namely Saquon Barkley. I said they'd hold him to the under, and guess what? Saquon had a fucking career day. 16-point favorites here on the Ravens side. I do think that's a lot. Don't be surprised if Derrick Henry has a massive fucking day. Simply because I'm going to say that the Giants have a stout run defense. But yeah, Derrick Henry could have a huge one. I'm taking the Ravens to win. Giants also have not won at MetLife at all this season. Keep tuned for a Factory of Sadness 2.0 video that I'm looking at doing. Yeah, MetLife Stadium does not look like a very nice place to be at the moment. Next up, we do have the Bengals versus the Titans. Bengals need to win this game to keep their hopes alive. Then it's not looking good for them, though. It is not looking good to do. If we scroll up here, they're third in their division. 8 wins is like the cutoff point. You're not going to make the playoffs with more than 8 losses, sorry. You're not going to make the playoffs with more than 8 losses. That's just how this season is. And that's just how it goes. I said it way earlier in the season, and now it's coming to fruition. So maybe you should fucking listen to me. Anyway, Bengals are favored by 5.5 points. Titans are already eliminated. There's likely going to be rain. It said likely. It did not say slight chance. It's going to be 12 miles an hour winds. Nothing too aggressive, but it can still affect things. The wind is going to be cold as well. It's going to be a cold, cold day. Bengals offense is just too good to lose to this Titans defense. Even though this will probably be a ground heavy game if it does rain, I think the Bengals will come out on top. What's his name? Chase. The running back. Chase. God damn it. He's probably gonna have a really good day. You could probably take his over on carries. I wouldn't be surprised if he beats that one. I think the Bengals do come out on top, but the Bengals defense is a sack of dog doo-doo. So I think I've thrown Will Levis to get 2 TDs in the Millie bed, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that eventually. I'm taking the Bengals here. Bengals to win it at. Next up, we have Patriots and the Cardinals. Patriots are already eliminated. Cardinals are hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Where are they? In the NFC. Right down here, 7 losses, right on the threshold, but the NFC is tougher than the AFC this season. Could be bye-bye birdie for these guys. Could be bye-bye birdie. Anyway, this is a dome game, so weather doesn't matter. It is a bit of another nothing game, honestly. Cardinals are falling out of the race fairly fast. I am going with the Cardinals, simply because the Patriots only have one Christian Gonzalez, and the Cardinals have at least two very good wide receivers. So, what are you going to do there? One of them is going to have a fucking game. I'm telling you that. Cardinals are favored by 6.5 points as well in this one. Next up, we have Colts and the Broncos in Denver. Empower Field at Mile High. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Broncos are 4.5 point favorites. It's going to be a clear sky. It's going to be cold. There are 21 mile-an-hour winds on the day, though, so kicking might not be great. Keep that in mind. That could mean that the game becomes a tight, close game. Could also not mean shit. Could mean that one team that can't actually get touchdowns can't actually get field goals either. So it could be a total blowout. Could be a super close one. I'm all behind the Broncos here. Wins may affect the passing game, but the Broncos have given up the 6th fewest yards to rushing QBs, and I'm talking about a guy called Anthony Richardson who can rush. So this stat is very valid. 6 rushes, 6th fewest yards to rushing QBs this season for the Broncos. Having said that, though, they haven't played too many rushing QBs. They did play Baltimore earlier in the year, and Lamar had 4 yards for 3 carries. So keep that in mind. I've got Broncos here. We're going with the Bronchi Boos. Favored 4.5. I'd take that. Next up, we have Bills Lions. This is going to be a fucking banger of a goddamn game in Detroit. This is a dome game. Weather doesn't matter. It's probably going to be cold in Detroit. But Bills is a cold weather team, so I don't think they're going to feel it. Especially not in a dorm. So I do like the Bills here at plus 2.5. They are dogs at 2.5. I think they can win the game. I personally think they're a better team. Maybe not so much in terms of offensive firepower, but Josh Allen just does more to get the job done than Jared Goff does. He's a big, strong man. I also do not think that Dan Campbell going for it on 4th so often against this Bills team is going to be a very wise thing. It's probably going to hurt them at some point in the game. So keep an eye on that. The over is 54.5 points. That is very, very, very fucking likely to happen. I would be surprised if it surpasses 60. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a real shootout. Great game to watch. Watch this game. Could be a Super Bowl preview. Could be one of those games, honestly. I personally don't think so. I think the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl over the Lions, and I do think the Bills make it all the way. Going the Bills. Going with the Bills. Next up, we've got the Buccaneers going into LA to versus the Chargers. Both of these teams are in contention. This is the one little hiccup on the road to the playoffs for the Buccaneers with the easiest schedule in the fucking league. LA Chargers are also still in it. I do believe they're in a playoff seating right now with their division rival, the Broncos. This is a dome game in SoFi, so the weather doesn't matter. SoFi is probably going to be an alright-ish day. This game's important for both teams. Like I said, Bucks need to continue to win out to solidify their division, and the Chargers also need to just continue to win to hold their wild card spot. This could honestly go either way. It could go either way. The Chargers might not have Lad McConkey. Keep that in mind. He's questionable. He wasn't in last week. So I am going with the Bucks here. Even if McConkey plays, I think the Buccaneers have more firepower on the offense, and I think they can probably hold them. This Chargers team is starting to get fucking hot though. So like I said, it's basically a pick 'em. Chargers are favored at 2.5. Going with the Bucks though. Next up, we have the Steelers versus the Eagles. This could also be another Super Bowl preview. Steelers and the Eagles are both dominating right now. Eagles are favored at 5.5. The Eagles have solidified their place in the playoffs. And the Steelers should probably solidify theirs fairly, probably after this week. Chance of rain. It's going to be cold. This is going to be an absolute banger of a game. I don't honestly know what to say about this game. This could be a very high-scoring game moving into the second half. This could be a very low-scoring game moving through the whole game. Either way, something is going to give in the fourth quarter, and somebody will pull ahead. I don't think it's going to be as tight a race as I feel. Eagles have been a great team at just staying in the game and outlasting their opponents, and then just hammering the nail in the coffin at the end of the game. Either way, this is going to be a really, really fucking good game. I do think the Eagles are a more physical team, and I think that's what this comes down to, honestly. I'm going with the Eagles here, and they are favored, and they're already in the playoffs. I know there's been a lot of talk about AJ Brown being unhappy with his production, I guess you could say, and his use in the passing game, but we'll get onto that when we're talking about our bets this week. Next up, we are going with the Packers Seahawks. This is Sunday night football. This is in the big lights. Packers are favored at 2.5 going into Seattle. There's a chance of rain, and it's going to be very, very cold. It's going to be really cold. Big game for both of these teams, honestly. Seahawks need to win out to hold on to their division. Packers want to win out to hold their placing in the playoffs. They should hopefully have it solidified by next week. But yeah, this does mean a little bit more to the Seahawks and their division. What's going on with their division right now? It was the tightest division in football, but they do have the Rams nipping at their heels right now. So, with that said, I am still going to be a simp and go with the Packers. They are my team. Both teams are on a roll right now. The run game's been working for the Packers, honestly, and we've got ballers all over the field. Seahawks offense is nothing to sneeze at as well. I'm still going to go with the Packers here. It's going to be good for us to win a game after losing that close one last week to the Lions. Rough. Next up, we do have the Monday night football games. We've got the Bears versus the Vikings. The Bears are essentially eliminated. They're not mathematically eliminated yet, but at the end of this week, I believe they will be eliminated. The Vikings are going strong. They should make the playoffs. They should have solidified their place in the playoffs, I would say, with 2 losses right now. I haven't looked at it recently. Vikings are favored by 6.5 points. This is a dome game in Minnesota. The Bears had a remission last week. They were doing so well. I do think they figure it out this week. I think they cover the 6.5 points. I don't think they win the game, though. Going with the Vikes. Boom. Next up, we have the final game of the week. Monday night football. We've got Falcons versus the Raiders. Falcons are favored 4.5 points. This is in Las Vegas, and that is a dome, so the weather doesn't mean shit. I'm taking the Raiders here simply because Cousins has not been playing well, and I think that Max Crosby takes advantage of a quarterback who is not going to run the ball, because Cousins doesn't run the ball. I think Max Crosby gets a sack. I think he maybe gets 2 sacks. I take him for 1 sack at least with the bet. I'd probably couple that with a Brock Bowers bet as well. Brock Bowers could probably hit 200 yards this week. Could probably do it. I might have to make a bet for our Sunday/Monday show for the Monday night football games, because I am interested on dropping those 2 bets at least. Okay, but yeah, in this one, like I said, I am going with the Raiders. Let us go over here, and we'll do a quick review of what we've picked. We have the Panthers defending home stadium against the Cowboys. We've got the Browns making a very interesting upset in the rain against the Chiefs. We've got the Texans holding off and getting a win and absolutely sticking the dagger in the Dolphins' chest and saying, no, you don't get to go to the playoffs this season. You started too slow. Next up, I've got Jets going into Jacksonville for a shit show and winning that game. I've got the Commanders going in and taking out a Derek Carless and a Bub Meansless Saints team. I've got the Ravens just absolutely just dominating the Giants. Don't know what to say. Giants haven't won at home at all this season. It's probably going to stay that way. I got the Bengals going in and beating the Titans in a seemingly meaningless game. I've got the Cardinals defending against the Patriots in Arizona. I've got the Broncos also defending their playoff spot against the Colts and saying, no, you don't get to go to the playoffs. To the Colts. I've got the Bills going into the Lions in a possible Super Bowl preview and beating them. I'm going with the Bills here. I've got the Bucks also going into LA and beating the Chargers. I've got the Eagles beating the Steelers in another possible Super Bowl preview. I've got the Packers going into Seattle and winning that game. I've got a couple of budgies yelling. I've got full Monday Night Football games. Vikings beating the Bears and the Raiders beating the Falcons. So with that done, let's go to the agenda, and all we need to do is our Week 15 bets. If you were here for the bets, this is what you're here for. So let's start off with our parlay, our 5-leg parlay. This week we are going with the Commanders, favored by 7.5 over the Saints. We are also going with the Bengals, favored by 5.5 over the Titans. With the Colts and the Denver Broncos, I am going for a total under of 44.5 points. I don't think the Colts score that many points, and I don't think the Broncos need to score that many points. They'll probably score about 21. Colts will probably score 3, especially because of the wind. 21-3. I'm calling it. Next up, we have Bills and Lions. I'm not going to bet on a winner for that game. It's going to be way too close. But I am going for the over of 54.5. Like I said before, it could go over 60. If you want to pump up the bet, put it at 60. I'd fucking do it. I might do it. I won't do it because this is what's on the screen. Next up, we have the Packers, favored by 2.5 over Seattle. I do believe they win that game by at least a field goal, even if it comes down to a field goal. So that's the parlay. Take it in, copy it, adjust it, do what you will. I don't give a shit. Next, we are doing something a little different, and we are doing a player bet, a breakouts bet. Some players have just been absolutely fucking balling. So I've got 4 separate bets for you. If you like these, you can chuck a couple of these into one big parlay. I do believe we do a milli bet every week as well. So $10 will net you $1 million if it comes through. And I do believe if you parlay all of these props together, it becomes a milli bet at 100,000 to 1 odds, and you just need to throw $10 on there. But let's go through them. So Jamar Chase, I have him with 150 receiving yards and at least 2 touchdowns. I have Derrick Henry with 150 rush yards and at least 3 touchdowns against the Giants. I've got Josh Allen getting 400 pass and rush yards combined against the Lions, also 3 passing TDs and 3 of his own either on the ground or receiving. Then finally, for our breakout bets, I've got Geno Smith. I've got him for 350 total yards, rush and pass against the Packers. I've got him for 2 passing TDs and to possibly run one in himself. He's only done it once this season, I believe. That is a pretty long bet. But like I said, if you like them, jump in on them, edit them, make them weaker if you want. Do what you got to do. Got a couple budgies that I'm about to murder after this show's done. Anyway, let's move on to our final bet. This is the $1 million bet. That's right, we are trying to become a millionaire on the channel here. We want you to become one as well, and we want to do it the easy way. We just want to put $10 on the bet book and wake up, watch some games, and sweat it out. And then hopefully that sweat earns us $1 million. I do have 100% faith in all of the players and all of the teams that I bet on because they are absolute boss dogs. So let's go through this. If you add all of these props, Rico Dowdle, 125 rush yards. Chuba Hubbard, 2 touchdowns at least. Josh Allen, 2 of his own touchdowns. Those are not passing touchdowns. Stone Smart, getting 1 touchdown himself. This week, we have Will Levis for 2 passing touchdowns. We have Jameis Winston for 3 passing touchdowns. We've got Bo Nix to run a passing touchdown or receive one. He just needs to get one, not pass one. And then we have Russell Wilson with 225 passing yards. Put all those props together into one big parlay. It makes it to 100,000 to 1 odds. Throw $10 on there. Become a millionaire with me. And, then the show will get a whole lot better because I'll be able to invest some money in it. Anyway, guys, that was the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the replay of it. Hopefully the bets come through. And I'll catch you after Sunday football. Have a great time. Appreciate self. Appreciate everybody else. Except for your budgies. And just peace out.